where do you think the industry will be 5 years from now? If you look forward to 2030, what does social commerce look
Yeah.
like?
So I think so. We already see the decline of linear TV, and we see the rise of CTV, with streaming platforms, etc. I think as AI evolves, one thing that will do for us as humans is give us more leisure time. And I think what's really important to remember is how we choose to spend our leisure time. And I think that means attention on CTV and also on social media is going to increase as well. So we're going to be spending more time on these platforms, etc. The idealistic person will say we'll spend more time with people in real life, but let's just be realistic here. We'll spend more time on TikTok. What I think happens is most, if not all, brands are now selling through social media and now selling through CTV. And we get so clever with programmatic advertising and algorithms that when I see an advertisement in between, a program that I'm watching on Amazon Prime, instead of seeing a generic piece of, advertising for, say, a clothing brand, I see one of my favorite influencers showing that clothing brand with the ability to purchase it straight away. I mean, we've already seen it. I was actually watching Amazon Prime last night, and I can literally buy stuff through Amazon whilst I'm watching in stream right now. And I think we get to a point where you're watching TV shows where you see, like, for example, like we talked about David Beckham the other day, right? Earlier on in this podcast, I'm watching a documentary on him, and he's sat down talking to camera, and he's wearing a jumper. That jumper's then shoppable. Like, this is the world I think we move to, where we enable the transaction like that for the customer. It's like really meeting the customer where they're at, and advertising and commerce just completely merge.
Yeah, I think that's something that 5 years from now we will look back at and think that was so obvious. And how come we didn't have that until very recently? Because, as you said, I mean, you also have Netflix and other streaming platforms push out their shows and their documentaries to such a large audience, and it becomes at certain point really a cultural phenomenon, right? Everybody's watching Squid Game, everybody's watching David Beckham documentaries, and everybody is looking at, let's say, David Beckham in one shot and is like, damn, that's a really nice jacket. I want to have that. So it totally makes sense to make that as frictionless as possible to just go and buy it. Same with social media. I mean, you do have shoppable posts on Instagram and such, but it still has a lot of friction, in my opinion, that should and could be removed. So by the time you're able to just tap a button and get it delivered home, I think we're going to definitely see that space explode. It's also interesting, just to linger on the streaming platforms for a second, to see how Netflix, for example, is now bringing podcasts onto the platform, right? So you're having the creator economy really being elevated to the next level and reach a much wider audience than they already have. Obviously, there are huge podcasters on platforms like YouTube, but to then be on Netflix, to my eyes, really takes it to that next level where we don't even know where this will lead to.
Absolutely. I think, and again, this is, I mean, we've also seen like Netflix is bidding for the Premier League rights in the UK, right? So
Right.
these platforms are recognizing, from a CTV perspective, like they're recognizing that linear TV is really struggling. They're recognizing that stuff is up for the taking, whether it's, sporting rights for other types of TV shows, etc. But also, like you said, the creator economy in the podcast space. It's like, I mean, Spotify did it so well. Like, for example, Spotify with like Joe Rogan, for example, a huge deal they did with Joe Rogan to exclusively just be on Spotify, right? It's basically the new evolution of media broadcasting, right? So this is the new form of media where the broadcasters aren't your ABCs and and CNNs, etc. It's your platforms. The platforms own distribution, whereas previously it was the broadcasters that own distribution.